Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Raiders of the Lost Flicks Live. I'm here with my co-host Flayer X, and that man right below me, waving his fists up in the air like a proud man should, is the maker of my new intro, Nerdy Blurb TV.
Ooh, good to be here. Thank you, guys.
Thanks you so much. Now, we can't have him be here too long because he just came off of a nice long stream on another channel, so I don't want to wear the guy out. But the reason I got Nerdy Blurb here is because he actually went and saw Tenet over the weekend, and you saw the teaser.
I saw the teaser. I saw Tenet a week ago. Actually, I got early access. Yeah, and I texted you right while I was in the theater. I was like, "It's a Dune teaser trailer."
So tell us a little bit about that teaser trailer before we get into anything else. We got a couple of other topics we want to discuss, but I want to get into that teaser trailer because I haven't seen it yet. I know it's floating around on the internet, but I kind of don't want to be spoiled.
Yeah, good call.
But you can still tell me everything you saw.
Yeah. Well, I actually drew every scene. No, I'm just kidding. Dune. I've never seen
figures, right?
Right, more or less. I've never seen a teaser for a trailer. Like it literally, like it went through and it said, "Get ready." You know, it's just like it's coming September 9th, you know, like, and kid seats are just $5. It kind of felt like that.
This is the era we live in where the teaser is like the trailer for the trailer. And then we watch trailer like, it's fine. You know, whatever.
I've never seen that in a theater. You always see it a lot with like Marvel, like back when they were doing whatever for the universe. There's like, guess what, a trailer's coming out, but I've never seen it for this. But it was really cool because it showed Timothy coming in, and it sadly didn't show the sandworms. Not
you know
good
what,
enough.
we were kind of saying maybe they shouldn't, maybe they should just tease just a teeny little bit, but they didn't show it in the teaser.
If anything, it showed a lot of really cool practical effects.
Okay.
Like it had a lot of that kind of stuff. It showed a lot of like costume. It wasn't a lot of dialogue. It was one narrated line, and Timothy Chalamet was like doing some sort of test with his hand in a box and all of that.
the pain test. Okay.
Exactly, the pain. So exactly. So like they're like the narration is explaining the pain test and if he can handle it or not, and it's just showing us those scenes, which was great because then it was just building us more and more, and it would show us one thing and then show us another thing, and then before you know it, you realize this thing is massive. Whatever they're doing is massive, which of course it's always what we've wanted, and it has to be that way. So it was pretty awesome. Like I walked away from it thinking the costumes and the practical effects were the highlight of this teaser. It was freaking awesome.
I've been happy with what I've seen so far, but I'm anxious to see just any of those images moving. Before we go any further, Etep Atreides, my brother from another mother, Etep Akulian, the host of the last show that I just left to start this show. It's been a busy night, y'all. Okay. Welcome, Pete. Thanks for joining us, buddy. I'm glad to have you here, man. You're coming into Dune with fresh eyes. You have never been exposed to this crazy ass universe of Dune so far. So this is something new for you as well.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen the original one probably in close to I'm 40 and I haven't seen it probably 30 years. It came out when I was 4, and I remember watching it like one time. I think it was with my mom because my dad's not really much of a sci-fi guy. But I remember watching it with my mom and just kind of getting caught up in just the whole walk like an Egyptian. But no,
hey, that's racist.
Not if you're Egyptian. The Bengals are racist for making that song. But anyway, no,
I'm about as Egyptian as I am Spanish.
I know, right? I get mistaken for everything but what I am, which is hilarious. So, but no, I am. I'm coming into this basically like a noob. I am. And I, like you said, you were talking about the visuals so far and what we've seen, just the pictures in the teaser, Ryan, you saw before Tenet. I have been really kind of stuck on the military. They've showed in that last one of those articles I did my video on. They had a picture of kind of like, it almost looked like the clones in Attack of the Clones laid out. And I'm really interested to see Josh Brolin and Oscar Isaac's character, because those military uniforms they're wearing look kind of cool. They at first I was looking at them like, wait, are those Spaceballs? But no, they look cool. I like the aesthetic to them. And like I said, I'm just excited about this. It's something like it's not new, but it is. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like almost a redemption for the franchise.
Well, that's just it. And we were talking a little bit off air, and I am going to go ahead and bring that up now because Flair and I were talking about our admiration for the 1984 movie. We like the movie, but it does have problems. And I know people are going to thumbs down just as soon as I say that. I'm like, it has problems. It doesn't have mass appeal because it overcomplicates things. People, as this starts to get closer, I'm starting to notice that people are starting to stand up a little bit more and saying, hey, maybe I like the miniseries a little bit better. Maybe I like the book a little bit better. You know, some people say it's unfilmable. I don't know. Flair, where do you want to go with this one?
Well, obviously, I love 84. I love the miniseries because I own it. You know, obviously,
84 has the look. The miniseries has the screenplay.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Well, like as we were discussing off air before, I would love to shove the vision of Lynch with the writers of the miniseries and the budget of the movie into the miniseries, because the miniseries got so many things right, and it had so many less flaws than the movie. But Lynch had the vision. If he had just had the directorial control throughout the entire process to bring his vision to a screen, because you know, Sci-Fi did a really naughty thing in the fact that they were not a popular TV station at the time they made, you know,
they were actually using Dune to bring people in. Yeah.
And they didn't have the money. They did not have they had the writers, but they didn't have the money to put behind the project that it deserved.
And that was my problem with the miniseries, is you can see the budget constraints when you look at the costume designs, and the special effects look very 2000. You know what I mean? Like very Windows 97, 2000. You know what I mean? Not even After Effects type special effects going on yet, but I still prefer that version because that one made me like Dune more. Because like the Dune 1984 movie, I first came into it right after Return of the Jedi. You guys remember a period in time? Well, I know you remember, Flair, a period in the 80s where there wasn't always a sequel to everything. Like you'd watch a movie and then you'd want something else like it. Dune was like right after Return of the Jedi. You know what I mean? It's like we wanted that next big science fiction thing, and that looked like it might be it.
And I think that's a sad commentary because Dune precedes, you know, Jedi and the entire
and it's not fair because it's so much richer than Star Wars too.
Oh, it is. It's so much more in depth. And then they go back and do the prequels, you know, and add even more layers of intricacy to what happens in Dune, and then continues on. It's an amazing series, and I'm very passionate about it. And it's
a series that's still going. I mean, can you say that about George R.R. Martin at this point? Is that series still going?
Hey, his last book is due to come out in 2075.
Yeah, 10 years after he died.
Yeah.
Your review of Halloween 2018 came out before George R.R. Martin's next book.
And you said it couldn't be done. Everybody said you're never going to do it. You're never going to do it. Well, guess what? I did it.
Pete, I have more faith in you than I have in George R.R. Martin ever. Don't get me started on him.
But the thing that we were talking about too, Flair, is what it would be like if like David Lynch had gotten a hold of this and had made this into a mini series rather than a movie. You know what I mean? Like today's budget, today's special effects, stretch it out over time. You know, this is something you don't want to rush all of this story at somebody because you're gonna bore them. You're gonna turn them off. You know,
to do it justice, you have to lure them in.
Yeah.
You have to set the table, put the food in front of them, hand them a fork, and go, okay, here's the first bite. And that's what's so great about what sci-fi did, is it literally did do that. Whereas the 84 movie just kind of dumped you into the middle of the ocean and went
massive. It's like, whoom, here's all this stuff. It's like, wait, what? Who's that guy again?
And that's also what I love about the book, is that, it does that. It builds into the story so much that I love reading the postscript to the book by the son. And he goes, you can read it once one way, go back, reread it in a completely different view of it, and it's a whole new story. And that this is what fascinates me about Dune is I've read the book, probably 10 times. And
I'm still working on it.
Every time.
I'm still working on it.
Just kind of catch something new every time, or just interpret it a different way, maybe.
Exactly. Well, he rode the environmentalist wave of the late 70s, early 80s into the first, $1 million of that book's profits. So there's the environmental side of it. There's the historical side of it. Because as you were pointing out in one of your videos, Pete, I don't mind the gender swap or the swap of Cheney so much.
Are we talking about? Are you talking about Liet Kynes was the gender swap with was it something? Sharon Duncan Brewster is playing Liet Kynes.
I have issues with that, but the race swapping,
it seems irrelevant to me. It
kind of. If the story is good, it's like what we always say. I think the story is going to be good, I'm hoping it will be.
It has to be accessible at least, okay? Because one of my biggest problems about the 1984 movie is it's not terribly accessible. It is very different because there's a lot of things that David Lynch did to be David Lynch and be edgy and kind of go darker with this, to where one of the things that irritated me the most was the whole like voiceover when they were trying to communicate their thoughts to the audience. I'm like, did you really need that? And then you watch the Sci-Fi Channel version, you're like, no, you didn't need that. You can still tell that story without all of those mental voiceovers. It's very jarring, and it kind of slows the pace of the movie down, and it overcomplicates it. And a good example of that is that movie, the Big Short. Remember that movie came out, The Big Short? It was about the housing crisis. I never felt so stupid after watching that movie, because they went so out of their way to try to explain that to people that they actually made it more confusing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I might have figured it out if you hadn't kept stopping the movie to try to explain it to your big dumb audience.
Was that the one with Margot Robbie sitting in the bathtub?
Here's Margot Robbie in a bathtub. I'm like,
I fucking love that. That was like that. I love that movie. That was like one of like that one. And what was the other one? Like Too Big to Fail. The Smartest Guys in the Room, about Enron. I love those kind of documentaries. I know what you're talking about. That they're like going out of their way to break the fourth wall, so they make sure that you're catching all these little points. And dude, that is a double-edged sword, because it can help at times. Depends on what kind of tone you're going for with your movie, though. Like with a movie like Dune, I don't think you want that fourth wall broken. It just doesn't seem like you would want to do that with the kind of material that, like, from what I've just picked up from talking to you and Flair about it. You wouldn't want that. You want to lay it out, but you want the audience to grasp it as they go. You don't want to explain it to them, because then you're kind of homogenizing things. I don't like that approach. I wouldn't like that approach for this. And I don't remember that from the 84 version. Like I said, it's been so long since I've seen it. I really want to watch it again now.
It's going to be like Blade Runner 2049. Nerdy, did you get that kind of vibe when you were watching the trailer? Like it looks kind of like it's going to be that level of science fiction?
Absolutely. So is Roger Deakins? Roger Deakins has to be on this, right? Is he product or is he director of photography?
Yes, I believe he is.
Okay.
It's the same guy that directed Blade Runner 2049. Yes.
Sorry, the director of photography, Roger Deakins, is the one who makes all of the environment, like in the desert scene in 2049 when he's walking around, it's like really orange and everything's run down. That's his design. It really feels that way. On his IMDb, it does say that the last one that he did was 1917. So I would imagine that he's not doing Dune, but freaking A, it looks really good. I'm so I need to know who's doing that production. Villeneuve is of course directing it, but the person who's doing like the design, the production design of everything, that's what we really want in a Dune movie. Because we get that it's just a sandy planet, right? But there's so much more to it. Like you've got the costumes, you've got the military kind of look to it and everything. You have to get the right person to do that. So
I think
once I figured that out,
they got the still suits right, because that was one of my gripes about the miniseries. Is those still suits felt more like camping clothes. You know what I mean? It didn't
in the old one.
In the Sci-Fi Channel miniseries.
Okay.
The still suits in the David Lynch version, I think, are awesome. I love those costumes.
I say the costumes from like the pictures I've been looking up about it and the clips I've seen, the costumes in the Lynch one look really good.
Yes, this is kind of going off that aesthetic, which makes me happy. Yeah.
And that's where I wanted it to go from. That's why I say that David Lynch's vision, because he had such a great vision for what everything should look like. You know, the still suits, the Sardaukar, uniforms, and that's where I think that the miniseries fell down, is they ran out of money and they started recycling shots. So it really turned into it's like, oh, I've seen this one before, but the other guys were red instead of blue, and wait.
Now, see, these look like, okay, Chaney and Stilgar here, they look like they've lived in the desert all of their lives. Okay, I'm getting that right there, just looking at these costumes.
Yeah, you get that vibe. But it's also armor, because
it's also armor. Yeah,
they are a warrior clan.
Mm-hmm. What's really cool about the teaser is, first off, you have tons of people on here. You have Rebecca Ferguson, Zendaya, Jason Momoa, Timothy Chalamet, Josh Brolin, you got Oscar Isaac. None of these, these are huge names right now. And none of them, you look at that, you look at that and you're like, is that Javier Bardem? No one stands out that way. Even Jason Momoa doesn't even look like himself.
Right. This isn't a movie about actors. These are actors playing a part, which makes me happy.
Which I love that.
After seeing some more of the stills, I understand what you were saying about the this is a movie for the fans, because if these visuals are carried through to the product, I mean, this is everything that a lot of people have dreamed about.
Well, that's just it. I've wanted this movie my whole life, because I like the story. I like the miniseries. The movie frustrated me, but it still gave me something different to look at. I just want one damn good Dune movie before I kick the bucket. You know what I mean? I need that. Waiting my whole life for this movie.
For a long time, I felt it was like Red Storm Rising. Always promised and never going to be made, because it's just nobody would want to put the passion behind the project. It's
kind of like The Punisher, it's like there's been many attempts, but nobody's ever completely got it right. There's like bits of this is good, bits of that is good. If you mixed all of it together, maybe you'd have the perfect version of it. I don't know if you
TV show was pretty good.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the Netflix show was good.
Oh, they finally got the right guy, But
Bernthal played a really great Punisher. I'm not gonna lie, I liked him as the Punisher. I just wish he had a better storyline.
Have you guys seen Rebecca Ferguson in Dr. Sleep?
Mm-mm.
No, but she looked hot.
Yeah, she's hot, but she's a fantastic actress. She plays a villain in Doctor Sleep, and I'm just waiting to see her do the weirding way, and it's gonna make the hairs on the back of my neck stand up.
She is also in the last 2 Mission Impossibles, and she's great in those.
Yeah.
By the way, I found out who the director of photography is. Someone who is supposed to make sure that the set and the production, like the world, looks good. And I'm surprised. I'm not surprised, but like this is pretty cool. Greg Fraser, who did Zero Dark 30 and did Rogue One.
Oh, okay.
He's doing this. So like,
yeah,
how
Rogue
the
One
world
was visually
looks
beautiful.
How the world looks is on his shoulders. So like that's pretty cool. Like Rogue One looked freaking way cool. Like the coolest part about that movie is how the worlds look in that, how it made Star Wars come alive.
Rogue One looked like a Star Wars flick.
Yeah.
I cannot say that about the other sequels. Solo did not look like it belonged in the Star Wars universe. It was a Western.
Solo didn't look like much of anything because it looked like he filmed the whole thing through a layer of sawdust.
Hey, that was in the Andy Griffith universe.
Yeah, if he keeps that level of accuracy to a Star Wars flick, that makes me even more excited because that's going to be awesome.
Well, that was one of the earlier videos that I had done. Is they don't want this to be a Star Wars movie. They want to forget everything they know about Star Wars and do something completely different. And I think that is crucial to this movie's success. We don't need any more Disney freaking Star Wars. We've seen enough. We've seen all of it. We've seen everything blow up 10 times fold. We've seen every version of every planet there could ever be. I want different things. I want to see Arrakis. I want to see...
that's what I was meaning. It was that he's going to be faithful to the story of Dune, not any other movie that he's ever made. Because if he wants to, if the director of photography is that good to make, Rogue One feel like a Star Wars movie, he's going to do the same to a Dune movie.
I want Gaten Prime to be terrifying. I want it to just be this technological horror, just awful, scary thing. You know what I mean? I think that's what this image is right here.
That's the shot right there that I was talking about. That is just like
this shot right here.
Yeah, that is badass looking. Like that is a really cool.
That's
shot.
got to be Gaten Prime.
Honestly, when I saw the teaser,
it's either the Fremen Fedaykin or the Sardaukar.
Go ahead, Nerdy. Sorry.
During the trailer, so my wife knows nothing about Dune, and when it was over, she's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "That's Dune, baby." But like, on top of that,
proper answer.
it felt like walking out of it after watching it. It just felt like if you had to describe this to somebody without seeing it. It would be a great marriage between the two Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, but really dark. That's how it felt. And that's what I wanted Dune to be like. So when I heard that Villeneuve was on this, I was like, this is going to be the best movie of whatever year that comes out, because Villeneuve knows how to do dark stuff, but he also knows how to make something.
This is the right universe for that, for sure.
Exactly. So it was very fitting for them to do the pain test during the trailer. Like the first thing that we see anything about Dune is to talk about pain, and then to see glimpses of like what that pain would mean. Like we saw a lot of like emotional stuff, but we also saw like brutality kind of clips in that, and I just know that it's going to be dark. Do we know what this is rated?
PG-13.
It's PG-13. Okay. I thought.
I would hope that it would be 13, but like you look at that and you think this is going to be huge and this is going to be dark, and that's all I've ever wanted from Dune. So it gave me what I want.
PG-13 level as much as they possibly can.
Yeah.
Too.
Yep, go for that hard PG-13 to where you're almost like an R, but you kind of hold it back at the last minute.
I'm gonna guess this is probably the Reverend Mother in Paul.
That's
right
the
here.
scene that it first starts out with. That's where they're talking about the pain.
Nice. That's the box right there. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. I'm excited. Actually, I want
2 days, fellas. 2 days.
I know. Yeah. I'm geeked that the trailer comes out in a couple days.
Really busy that day, you know.
Yeah. Yep. That is, and that's, let's see, that'll be on let's see, today's Monday, so that'll be on Wednesday. Yeah. So we'll have the we'll be talking about that on Wednesday, going in Raw Wednesday, Wednesday night probably. But yeah, that'll be I'm awesome. Like I said, I tried to find the leaked footage from the teaser today. I couldn't find it on YouTube anywhere.
Warner Brothers has done a really good job keeping that quiet.
I just want to see the teaser trailer. That's what I was going to look up. I was like, is the teaser out there online?
We had leaks for Rise of Skywalker like a year before that even came out. There's like hardly any leaks for there's a few leaks of people filming the teaser in the theaters, but that's really all that's out there. And Warner Brothers has done a pretty good job of taking that down.
Thrown the big iron on anybody who posts it.
Well, that's just it. I'm not going to be able to show you the trailer footage. I'm just going to say, here's the link to the trailer. Oh my God, let's talk about it. So
yeah.
So I want to bring up.
I would actually just say don't go see it because it's coming out in a few days. All it really is just a teaser for the trailer. So like, it's great. You're going to see stuff, but like, it really is hyping you for the trailer. You might as well just wait for the trailer.
I am. I'm very hyped. I'm not gonna. I'm trying. There's not really many movies that have I've been this anxious to see a trailer for. Outside of like right now, literally, probably Doctor Strange 2 because Sam Raimi is in charge now. He's directing it. That's the only other one I'm really like. I really want to see a trailer for this.
I really want to see a trailer for that one too.
I know
it's supposed to be 3 minutes long, guys.
That's a pretty good length for a trailer. Is it normally like 2.5?
Yeah,
something like that.
Like a minute and a half, especially for a first trailer. For a first trailer, it should be way smaller. This is what I gotta say. Like, people have got to be like super confident in this movie because it comes out when, and we're only getting a trailer now.
December 18th.
That's what we've been complaining about. I've been like, "Hey, where's my trailer?" I'm like, "We're hearing about the damn Batman, and that's a whole year off already." I'm like,
I really don't think people are going to be talking about Batman. Thank goodness, by the way. I can't turn YouTube on without seeing, "Hey, a new trailer reaction for the Batman." I don't care. Give me Dune. Like that's really how I feel.
Yeah.
I was more interested in how you described it, because if you're into it, I feel like it's going to be good. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
If somebody has that reaction to a teaser, it's going, and then we get the actual trailer.
I'm thinking Warner Brothers knows which way the wind's blowing. They see all the hype for it, so they don't really have to generate any because it's already there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a good thing, a really good thing.
Remember the last movie that Warner Brothers held back a trailer for?
Which one was that?
Wasn't it Justice League?
I was gonna say, I think it's like one of.
Was it Justice League? God, it seems like so long ago.
Wasn't it was a DC? I think it was Justice League. But what I'm saying, this is a completely different situation, obviously.
Well, I think that's because it wasn't edited up.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Yeah, and this one, like I said, you're holding it back, and it's like nobody's really we're complaining because we want to see it. It's not like we're worried about it not. To me, like I said, I'm catching these images and I'm comparing it to images I've seen from the old one, and I'm looking at now, and I'm like, this is just like everything I'm finding out about the story and the characters, and the world is like, man, this has really got me hooked in. Like,
Pete is starting to understand. Do you see the light, Pete? Do you see the light?
Yeah, damn.
Father, the sleeper has awakened.
Yes, I see the light. No, I want to talk about this article for just a second. It kind of has Flair and I just a little bit concerned. I don't like Collider. I'll just be right.
No.
I'll put it right online. I'm not a fan of this site, but
as soon as I saw Collider, I thought this headline is bullcrap.
Hey, what?
And we lost like
what do
3
you have against
watchers.
Christian Harloff? He busted his ass for 4 years to be a Star Wars fan, and he didn't even
Anyways.
get to Galaxy's Edge.
I'm not going to read the article, but this article is
Just
claiming
read
that
one sentence, though. The one sentence.
where is that sentence at, by the way?
It's right near the top. I know that much. Still, it is literally Stilgar is the mother of or the father of Cheney.
Here we go. Okay.
And leader of the Fremen.
Brendan Stilgar, father to Cheney, leader of the Fremen of Arrakis, the planet where the majority is set. Please say this is a typo.
It's probably a typo, I would think. I mean,
Look
look
at
at
Collider. It's got to be a freaking typo.
they don't. It's Collider. They don't pay editors, man.
It's the Collider way, dude.
I have said my prayers nightly to whatever God will answer me.
Oh, great Cthulhu in the sky. No.
Please make this false. Because it scares me to death. Because
please, Jesus, listen to me.
I'll sacrifice 20 virgins if I have to, including Pete's,
myself. Oh, right. I feel like that's too big of a typo, too big of a mistake to be made. It has to be a typo.
Yeah. It's really dumb. Yeah.
To me, if that is correct, it throws a monkey and a wrench into the works of epic proportions. Because I'm like, no.
But will it ruin the story?
It's kind of like saying Nick Fury, yes, is going to be putting on the Iron Man suit again. You know, it's kind of like that. We'll still watch it because we want to see that happen.
I'd like to see the train wreck. I'll watch it for the train wreck. But it's like that's also a lot of my misgivings with the gender swap of Liet Kynes.
Mm. Because
in the book, the level of, because it is a patriarchal society, I'm sorry, that's how he wrote it, because they are not, they protect their women. But
this was written in 1963, not 2020.
Yeah, and it was also put out by Chilton. The guys that do.
That's one thing I'm relying on Denis Villeneuve is he's not going to disrespect this man's work. You know what I mean? He's going to take this name seriously. He's going to show the story.
Well, the last article that you had up said, and who cares about this article? But like even the headline in itself said that Villeneuve really likes the old Dune movie. And
we'll pull that up next.
Yeah, like you had it up recently, and it's just like even something that small, that somebody's going to be like, they kind of know how the story goes.
I've already steered more traffic towards Collider than I'm comfortable doing. So,
look what Villeneuve did for 2049.
Exactly, and I didn't think that would turn out as good as it did. I loved Arrival. I watched Arrival. I'm like, okay, well, this guy did Arrival. It probably won't suck. And me and my sister went there on the day it opened to an empty theater, which was sad, but we loved it. We did. I'm like, holy God, the guy made a movie that fits in the universe, doesn't disrespect the movie that came before it, and doesn't try to sadly set up a sequel that probably nobody would come back and see. It's not sequel baiting,
Was the first one was what? It was Harrison Ford, and was it Rutger Hauer? Or Lance, was it Rutger Hauer? I thought
best Rutger Hauer performance ever.
He's been in he's been in about as many movies as Samuel L. Jackson, I think.
At least, yeah. But that was his best role for sure. It was his final speech in. He
did Sicario.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Sicario.
Yeah, dude.
Sicario is wonderful. It's a wonderful movie.
The visuals on that. Oh my God! If he does,
he's got a good eye and he's a good storyteller. So that's why I was really excited when I found out he was
Roger Deakins. I'm not gonna lie, that was a lot of Roger Deakins photography. True. But it is what his vision is, and that's when I knew that he would do freaking amazing. If you want to see like something dark from Villeneuve, go watch Prisoners with Hugh Jackman and Gyllenhaal.
I'm gonna check it out.
So freaking good, dude! It is amazing.
Prisoners. All right.
I'm gonna check it out.
If you're a father,
you guys have already seen Arrival.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arrival's amazing.
I've never seen that
There's
one either.
better, in my opinion.
Let's put it this way: Arrival's the best episode of Star Trek ever committed to a movie. Just saying. All right. Yeah. Right. It is. Yeah.
So
'cause,
true, dude.
you know, it's about communication. You know, I mean, that's all I can say about it. If you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it for you, but you have to watch. There's a message, and it's a good one. It's a damn good one that applies to almost everything. But yeah, so I just want to pull this up here because, you know, a lot of people hold, you know, the 1984 film in high regard, and that's fine. You know, we've said that we like a lot of aspects of it. It showed a lot of promise. It was hacked up. I don't think any of that can really be blamed on David Lynch because the studio took it away from him. They basically pulled a Justice League with it. You know what I mean? Yep. Too many cooks in the kitchen. They spent too much money on it, and boom, it is what it is. You know,
when a director wants to take his name off the finished product, that says it all.
It's an Alan Smithy classic. Yeah,
I hold David Lynch in high regard. If that's how passionate he felt about it, that, you know, if he wanted to pull his name from it, and it turned out, because the first third of the movie is, I mean, probably the best I've ever seen.
I love the opening with the traveler and just all of those people walking in. It's a great setup, like the beginning of the movie, and just it's somewhere around like the middle to third act is where it starts to lose me, you know. But yeah, setup wise, it would have been great if it would have been just the first of 3 movies. We probably wouldn't even have a Dune remake at this point, you know.
Oh yes, we would. Disney would make it.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Oof.
Boo! 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 Muck! Boo! Boo!
I mean, Disney's remaking everything. They'll probably remake their own cartoons at some point.
That's the other reason why I'm happy about this is I want somebody to knock Disney off a peg, because I feel like they have too much stake in the science fiction universe to where they need to be knocked down a couple pegs. And somebody has to make an intelligent science fiction movie that doesn't feel like it was working within the constraints of the Disney brand. You know what I mean?
If we can get something to break out from either Star Wars, the MCU, and be driving its own vehicle into the future, I will be there with bells on and every dollar I have to my name to make sure that it gets my dollars.
Right.
Because I truly do not. I'm so sick of watching the same MCU movie put out every other year.
Yeah, it feels like science fiction just doesn't get any love. I mean, there's a couple of things keeping it alive, and then you know,
I would say it does get a lot of love, but it does. It's like the Asian gift store version of sci-fi. You know, it's like
the Wish version of sci-fi.
Yeah,
it's the MySpace version of all the sci-fis.
Here's what Wish sends you.
Exactly. Like we get a lot of that kind of stuff. We get remakes and rehashes of Alien Covenant and all that kind of stuff. But like it's nothing what we want. But the only reason why I have hope in this is because Villeneuve freaking killed it with 2049. It like brought back sci-fi in its purest form, which is Blade Runner, by the way.
Noir. That sci-fi noir that is dark, that's gritty, that's realistic, that feels like you could step into that movie and walk through that set, or you walk through that world and be a part of it. That's the sci-fi I'm looking for. That's the sci-fi that he gave us in 2049, and that's the sci-fi I love. to put it bluntly.
Did you see in the teaser? Did you see anybody with the blue on blue eyes yet? They did.
Yes.
How'd they handle that?
Know who?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Zendaya.
Yes.
Mamacita.
Yeah.
You know, one thing about her is a lot of people had issues with her being involved right off the bat, and to me, I always call that the Phantom Menace dog whistle.
Yep.
I do, and I'm a fan of Menace. You guys know I'm a fan of Menace, ride or die. But I do call out that bullshit when I see it, and that is that bullshit right there. Just because Zendaya is in something doesn't mean it's woke. Yeah, her character was bad in the Spider-Man movies. Guess what? The new Spider-Man movies were bad. Guess what? Zendaya wasn't bad in. She was not bad in The Greatest Showman because she is a freaking talented actress. All right,
Yep.
the
She
woman has skills.
dance, and yeah,
She did her own rope work. I want to see her. I want to see her in this. I really do. Like I was really happy with the way she looked. Like you said, with the blue eyes and in the stills and in the suit so far, she looks good. I'm excited to see it, man. I am.
So does it look like blue contact lenses, or do those eyes like really glow?
No, it's definitely something else. It's a teaser. It was pretty quick.
It's not copying this look right here, right?
No, it's much brighter than that.
Hey,
Nice.
Pete,
Yeah.
I would say this. I don't care. You and I both like Deputy.
Yeah.
I will admit freely that it is woke as hell, but they did the story right.
Yep.
And if they can get a damn conservative like me to sit and watch, a woke storyline,
Yeah.
I think Villeneuve can do, Zendaya right, because she'll take that part and make it her own.
Yep.
And you know what? More power to her.
Exactly. And if
I want to give her that slack.
Yeah.
Because I am wholeheartedly behind this movie. So if it takes me sucking it up and enjoying a good character actor like Zendaya,
Yep.
Oops. Oh damn.
Yeah.
Suck.
and that's it. Like I said, man, I don't care if something is woke, but it's written well, then I'm gonna watch it and I'm probably gonna enjoy it. I can do that, and that's the thing with her is like I said, I had a lot more respect after seeing The Greatest Showman with her and Huey in it. Especially Zac Efron's another one, man. That kid has got to. I'm actually surprised that they didn't kind of cast. I think he would have probably. Well, I think he would have been a good Paul Atreides.
They haven't revealed who's going to play Fade yet. That's a big secret. So we're going to assume that we probably won't see Fade till the end of this movie or early next movie. So who's gonna we're not going to try to copy Sting, but we definitely want somebody that's like good looking, athletic, dangerous, charming all at the same time. That's
Rock's got COVID, so. He's out.
Well, and he has to be very athletic because he fights in the slave gladiator pits. He wins 1,000 battles in the book or more, and it's he has to be he's not going to be.
I have faith in the casting because so far all the people that they chose to pick these parts, I absolutely see them in these roles. Like everybody. Yeah. Stellan Skarsgård, I can't wait to see him.
Oscar Isaac,
the Baron,
Vito Atreides. Oh, please! When I first saw that, it was, oh damn! I thought William Hurt was great as Leto. This guy takes the cake.
Oscar Isaacs can do a good job when he's not doing bad Star Wars movies
or being Apocalypse and X-Men.
Yeah, if you guys if you've never seen Ex Machina on Netflix, you really need to check that out. He's really good.
So good. It's one of my favorite movies.
So awesome. Yeah,
he is such a great actor in Ex Machina.
I was gonna watch.
That's like his best movie, in my opinion.
I was gonna watch that, and then the wife was like, "Wait, I want to watch that with you." So we're gonna sit down and watch. That's when she wants to watch with me.
You'll enjoy that
because that's got him and the guy that played Hux. I can't think of his name.
Yes. Yeah, he's good in it too. I can't. I remember his name.
Movie is. I understand why it won as many awards as it did because man, the writing, the directing, the storyline, it leaves you with a question. It's one of those great movies that just. I
wanted to go see that, and I couldn't get anybody to go see it with me because my friends are all schmucks, So I had to wait for that to come out on video to watch it. I'm like, why did you not go see this with me? I don't wait for friends anymore. That was a different time in my life. But
you just got to be like me and not have any.
The other reason I want Dune to do well is because
all you have to say is there's boobs and gooch in it, and that's it.
And
both. Also, a gratuitous disco dance off wonderful disco dance off with Oscar Isaac. But the other reason I need Dune to be successful is because this miniseries right here, which I talk about to great detail, was never released on Blu-ray in the United States. Only DVD. He's got the collector's version, which has boobs in it. Okay. The director's cut has boobs. This is the TV version. Okay. It was not released on Blu-ray in the United States. So if this movie's successful, there'll be a demand to release that on Blu-ray for here. Now you can walk down to the Walmart and buy Dune 1984 director's cut for probably $5 on Blu-ray. But for this one, I had to order a German version of the Blu-ray just so I could see a really good print of this movie.
Das Dune.
Yeah,
Das Dune.
I can change the language settings, but
leave it on Aj Doom.
The subtitles are still in German, which kind of sucks, but at least the rest of it's in English. But, you know, I didn't want to do that, but I didn't have any choice. Same with the Children of Dune, its sequel, which this doesn't show well on the green screen, but Children of Dune was probably even better than the first one because it had more of a production budget. But by then, I think people had kind of checked out.
Which is surprising that it had more of a budget because I don't think Dune did pretty well in '84.
Plus, you had James McAvoy. I don't know the box office.
Well,
it was another one that came out on Sci-Fi Channel. This was another miniseries.
Sorry, I thought you were saying a movie.
No, directly to Sci-Fi Channel. Yeah, back when they were trying to make a science fiction channel, they didn't just make Sharknado Part 6, 7.
I will have none of this besmirchment of Sharknado. We'll have none of this.
It's fine.
On that note, I'm going to leave this stream.
So Sci-Fi did Sharknado, but they also did Dark Matter, Continuum.
For a long time, they had the one that went over to Amazon that I just watched recently.
The Expanse.
Expanse, yeah, I love The Expanse.
Yep, I got a jet, guys. I think
we're going to probably bring it to a close pretty soon, but I want to thank you guys for stopping by Nerdy Blurb TV. Nerdy Blurb is the guy that made the intro for this video, and he does all my graphics and everything. Wonderful guy. Check out his channel. I'm going to put up a link in just a second. And then also Etep Bakuyans, the place to be reviews. This guy talks about all kinds of geek culture, pop culture type stuff, and cartoons with dump truck asses and that kind of
thing. Hey, that say what you want. That video's up to 7,500 views.
So, get those links for
the people what they want.
Hey, the people want Pixar dump truck asses.
You got to respond to the needs of the people,
dump
right?
Truck asses.
So here's Etep Bakulian's channel, and then here is Nerdy Blurb. I'll let you guys get up on out of here, and then
thank you guys very much.
Hey, thanks for having us on, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate you on our
Flayer. I don't think I've ever been on a stream with you. So what up, bro? I've always been in the chat. So nice to be here.
Well.
He gets pocket banned on my channel, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not talk about Chris Wicks, right?
Flair is a part of our Friday show where we watch old bad movies, and Nerdy, we got to get you on one of those because we have a good time with that.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, let's do it.
Watching the Andy Sedaris movies and shit.
Come by this Friday, we'll make that happen. So, yeah.
I'll get at you.
Got room for you. So, you guys have a wonderful night, and thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks,
Peace
guys.
out, fellas.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Flair. So that brings us back to our concerns. In our, we'll talk a little bit of story stuff. I'm gonna wrap this up in about 10 minutes because I just want this stream to be about an hour long, and then I think we'll have done everything. We've got a lot of people in the chat too, so I want to say hello to everybody. Matthew, if I mispronounce your name, I apologize. I'm going to try the best I can. Praj Nanpad. Okay. If I mispronounce it, I apologize. You guys need to know I mispronounce everything. I mispronounce people I know. Okay.
Adam Shawhan. He's the man.
As super fan Adam Shawhan, thank you so much. We got John Daughtery, thank you so much. Manliness and Motivation, thank you so much for stopping by. Matthew Vincent Holler. If I mispronounce that, let me know. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I think I missed. Oh, hey, right here, Fatal J. So I'm streaming when the trailer drops, and I'm doing a breakdown. hopefully Fatal J will be on this channel at some point. He's a busy guy too. He is the guy that's responsible for getting you the Snyder Cut. So thank him when you get a chance. Make sure you subscribe to Fatal J on YouTube.
I'll thank him for the people that actually want to see it.
Here we go. Thank you. Close enough. Okay, thank you. I will get it right eventually, but thank you so much for watching the show. But
yeah, absolutely.
What else do we want to cover before we head up on out of here?
Well, I don't know. I've expressed my fears. That it's going to be.
I think what we should probably talk about is what do we want from the trailer? Not so much. We already know what we want from the movie. What do we want to see in the trailer? I think the pain box is probably what we'll open up on. Okay, then we'll probably maybe tell. There's going to be like some voiceover in the background because after all, the formula for trailers hasn't changed much in the past 20 years. So let's be realistic. It's always the disembodied voice saying something that sounds kind of eclectic, even when it may or may not be, lots of establishing shots. We're going to see Arrakis, maybe Caladan, maybe Gidi Prime.
I'd like to see a hint of the worm. It doesn't have to be.
I would end on a hint of the worm. Just end with a little bit. Just don't show me everything. Show me like just maybe a little bit of the mouth, slowly coming out of the sand. I just want to see the mammoth epic size of one of these things because that's always been one of my biggest attractions to the Dune universe is these mythical creatures that are so important. I don't even, you know what I mean?
That production drawing of like I think it's Paul Atreides standing in front of one of the worms with its mouth open. That I think would be the coolest thing to see as you're leaving the trailer. Mm-hmm. Just that hint, because those are the two things in Dune that change everything. Paul and the worm.
The key. Yeah, it's the key. Yeah.
Those are the two keys.
I think people need to understand because like I think Pete might be a little confused too. I didn't want to say anything because if you haven't seen Dune in a long time, Oscar Isaac isn't going to be the main character.
No,
he's an establishing character.
Part of the movie.
Yeah, I mean he's an establishing character. Same with Jason Momoa. I mean these are in this particular part. These are establishing characters. You know what I mean? Like some of them will come back later, maybe.
Reverend Mother Gaius will be there.
Rebecca Ferguson will be there the entirety. So you're going to spend a lot of time with Rebecca Ferguson and Timothy Chalamet. Yeah.
Yes.
Because Zendaya at a later time. Yeah. So.
But I don't. If they do it right, it's not going to be a problem. Because I forget how good the miniseries was. I've watched it. Probably a dozen times before the last couple weeks, and I've watched it 3 times in 2 weeks. Preparing for this.
I think a lot of people are, yeah.
And I forgot how good it was, and just how much of the book is represented. Not perfectly, because it takes things out of order and people say different things. But it's one of those things that I want to see how Denis Villeneuve, how his vision of Dune reflects, because nothing's ever going to be perfect.
Nothing's ever going to quite fit your vision of what you read when you read the book and what you see. It's never going to quite.
Exactly.
You're always going to, but you're going to be. You're open. You're like me. You're open to interpretation. I want to read this really interesting comment here from Anna Duni. Okay, I actually wouldn't mind if Stilgar and Kynes became Chaney's parents to streamline the characters' dynamics. I don't think it would be a huge impact.
Yeah, and instead of her uncle, I could see it. I mean, there is familial bonds there, so I mean, if it shifts over one, okay. I mean, if it's done right, like I say, I'm more than open. Very good comment, very good. Insightful.
That's my biggest worry with this too, is like, I don't want the director to overcomplicate this movie because there's a lot of stuff to comprehend. There's a lot of religious archetypes, and mythos. This universe has its own political intrigue, espionage. There's all these different things going on at once. I don't want them to overcomplicate things that don't need to be overcomplicated. That was my biggest gripe with David Lynch's movie is things were just too weird just for the sake of being too weird. And I think it turned a lot of people off at the time.
And that all, but honestly, that harkens back to Frank Herbert's vision of it, because he did take LSD and write part of the book. So
True.
It's
and then he had Jodorowsky on there too, and I know a lot of Jodorowsky's image went into the David Lynch movie too, which is it needs to be done by people that at least understand the story. It's like here Manliest Motivation said the Lynch movie, you just had to sink or swim. Yeah, I've seen it many times, and I've just gotten to the point to where I prefer the Sci-Fi Channel version, because that I watch a lot of movies, and I always thought that movie was overly complicated for no reason. And especially after watching the Sci-Fi Channel version, I realized that it wasn't as complex as I originally thought it was. It's deep. There's a lot of stuff, but I was able to understand what was going on.
Yeah, exactly. It's deep, but he gives you such a great. He writes so well that he makes the depth almost seem swimmable. That you're not drowning in Dune. You're watching it for the epic nature of it, instead of, oh my God, it's a Star Wars knockoff, because that's what one of my friends told me. They didn't want to see Dune because, it's just a Star Wars knockoff.
Yeah, it came out awfully fast after Return of the Jedi, and you're seeing the desert. And I think people might, people's minds kind of tend to gravitate towards what they see. It's unfortunate, but they do judge a book by its cover.
Well, and again, like we discuss, Pete was discussing it on his show previously. You and I have discussed it, personally, that franchises are what sells these epic stories.
Yes.
And because people have been so built to be sucked into, I want a trilogy. I want 3 movies to make it good. And sometimes you can do that. Sometimes it won't work. And like this, I think Denis Villeneuve was very wise to make it a 2-flick movie, or a 2-flick set, going, okay, here's the start, and we'll get, here's part of the meat, here's a taste, come to the next one to see that full meal. And I'm, honestly, I'm excited. I'm really.
I am too. I just got a really good question. Manliest Motivation said, never watched the Sci-Fi Channel version. A lot of people haven't. I just put a link up in the chat. If you go on YouTube right now, the whole miniseries is available. You can watch it for free. They've been up there forever. Nobody's tried to take them down. I watched them there recently. I have the Blu-ray and I have the DVD, but you can also watch them on YouTube. They're available to be watched. It's one of those things where they tried really hard to make the best they could with what they had. It had kind of a low production cost, but it had a great script. It had some decent actors and some kind of people that overacted a little bit in there, especially, remember the guy with the hood, the spice must flow. Like, did the guy think he was in a comedy? Did he think he was in a medieval movie? He's like,
that's the Space Guild.
The Spacing Guild. Yeah, the Spacing Guild guy was like really hamming it up, man.
Yeah, but that's how the Spacing Guild is.
Right. They're on the spice.
They're kind of like a used car salesman.
Yeah.
You have to deal with them, but you don't really want to.
Yep. They got the monopoly on the travel plans. Definitely.
Well, and they're also spice addicts.
Yep. And I'm kind of wanting to see how Denis Villeneuve approaches that. Like yeah. Many things that I hate to say this, but it's like I want to see Denis Villeneuve smooth over the rough edges from the movie and the miniseries. If he can smooth those rough edges out and make them more organic, this is going to be the best damn thing ever. It's going to be the highlight of 2020, the best damn movie we've seen all year. please, we need one. Okay. There haven't been any other movies. You have very low competition with this. The hype is unreal. I mean, people are chomping at the bit for this. There is an audience for this, and it's mostly going to be people that are fans of the franchise, fans of science fiction, so people that want something more than just, Marvel superhero or Star Wars number 457. They want something a little bit deeper, maybe they're frustrated with science fiction, and Dune is not really science fiction either. It's more science fantasy.
Excuse me a second. I got to dip out.
No problem. We're going to be wrapping up pretty soon here anyway, but
I know. I'm hurrying.
We've had very good participation, lots of people watching. I apologize that I didn't get a lot of content put out last week. I have been preparing for a trip. We're going to Illinois to go visit my sister, and preparing for that trip has taken a lot of my free time away from me. So I'm going to try to get content out as much as possible. I won't have a new video up tomorrow. This one's going to have to do it for now. But I will definitely be popping the videos out right after that trailer drops. I'll have a video probably as quick as I can upload and post it, ready to go, breaking it down piece by piece, link by link, what I think, what I'm, we'll be speculating about the movie, how good we think it's going to do at the box office. And I will say this, all right, despite how we feel about any of the previous versions of Dune, despite how we feel about what Denis Villeneuve may or may not do, okay, even if this movie sucks, dare I say, even if this movie sucks, and if it does, I'll be the first to tell you. You guys that have been subscribing to me for a long time know that I will not hold back in giving you my opinions. I'm the guy that said I didn't really care for Parasite and live to talk about it, okay? I will be honest with you if I didn't like it. I'll tell you why. But even if I don't like it, I still want it to do good, because if it does good, we'll get more movies like this. We'll get more franchises. We'll go back and visit things. I wouldn't mind seeing a Forbidden Planet remake. We were just talking about that early. Flayer X wouldn't mind seeing a decent version of Inspector Gadget. You know what I mean? Just if you're going to remake something, take something that wasn't very good to begin with and make it better. That's what I'm always saying. Yep. Now the original Forbidden Planet is perfect, but it's also very old. So if you redid something like that, you could still make it work.
A lot of these one-off 90s sci-fi Andromeda, there could be a really good remake of Andromeda. Mm-hmm. Expand that universe, because that was so criminally underrated. If we get Dune to be what a vehicle for these, I dare say one-offs, because Frank Herbert and Brian Herbert, Kevin Anderson of the Star Wars Extended Universe fame did the prequels for this series. What if we go back and do the Butlerian Jihad?
There's so much franchise potential here. It's ridiculous. And what I would like to see is, let's say this movie does really great. Let's take some of these prequels and side stories that are in this universe. Let's make those TV shows.
Exactly. Like
made for Netflix, made for Amazon. I would actually say Amazon, because in my opinion, Netflix kind of is catering to a certain age group, where Amazon likes to throw out the older audience, like bring in more of an older audience.
I think they cater more to a rounded audience.
Yes.
Not because
they're going for a very general demographic, because why else? Yeah, why else would The Expanse have gone to Amazon Prime?
Or the Jack Ryan series.
Ryan series, the Orville. These are these. So there's so much possibility here that things can be exciting. So I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. But yeah, Flair and I will be on every Monday night. Why is he my co-host? Because he's read more Dune than I'll ever be able to catch up with. The guy is a reading fool, and he's a huge fan, and he knows his stuff. That's why I call him the professor. Flair, thank you so much for
passion.
Thanks for being on here, man. I appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. We're going to do this every Monday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you're here. Thanks for stopping by the chat. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because I'm going to have a lot more Dune content coming out. Better believe. Peace out. You guys have want to say hello to the elite? The elite said peace. Peace back to you, buddy. You guys have a good one. Have a wonderful weekend. Or have a wonderful week, I should say. It's not quite the weekend yet. I don't want to jumpstart that too much. Peace out, guys. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it somewhat entertaining. Please remember to depress that like button and subscribe to my channel for more content. Make sure you hit that bell icon so you'll be the first to know when new content is published. Please visit raidersofthelostflicks.com for more hilarious entertainment and links to all of our social media platforms. Also, consider supporting us on Patreon. As little as $1 a month supports our worldwide digs for more Lost Flicks. Thank you, and have a groovy day.